You know, sometimes in the Chinese language, the most profound ideas are held within just a handful of characters. What you see on the screen is a perfect example of this. Tui Xin Zhi Fu. These characters don't just have a meaning, they carry a whole story, a powerful moment from history that really gets to the heart of what trust is all about. And the story this phrase holds is, well, it's pretty remarkable. It takes us back to a kingdom in total chaos, and to a brilliant general who turned tens of thousands of his fiercest enemies into his most loyal followers, not with weapons, not with force, but with a single, profound gesture of sincerity. To really appreciate the promise that's held within this phrase, we have to look at each character, one by one. It's almost like we're deciphering an ancient code, where every symbol reveals another piece of a much larger meaning. So the first character is pronounced Tui. It means to push, but not with force. I want you to think of it more like a gentle, deliberate extension, kind of like you're offering something to someone with a very open hand. The next character is Xin. This means the heart, but it's so much more than just the organ. It represents the very core of a person, their mind, their true intentions, their authentic self. Our third character, Zhi. This means to place or to set down, and it has this sense of real care and intention. You are consciously, carefully putting something in a very specific location. And the final character is Fu. This is the belly or the abdomen, and metaphorically, it represents the deepest, most vulnerable, innermost part of a person. Okay, so let's put all those pieces together. We have to gently push the heart, to place it in the belly. When we bring these all together, they form a really vivid and powerful image, don't they? Together, it's Tui Xin Zhi Fu, Tui Xin Zhi Fu. And it literally means to take your own heart and place it inside another's belly. It's this beautifully vivid metaphor for treating someone with absolute, complete sincerity. So now, let's dive into the story that gave birth to this incredible idea. So let's go back in time, nearly 2,000 years ago. China was in turmoil. The Han Dynasty had collapsed, and different rebel armies were all fighting for control. One of these rebels was a man named Liu Xiu, a descendant of the old royal family, and he was trying to restore his family's lineage to power. And Liu Xiu turned out to be a brilliant commander. In a really decisive battle, he defeated one of the biggest rebel forces out there, an army known as the Copper Horse. Tens of thousands of their soldiers surrendered to him. But this huge victory created a brand new and very dangerous problem. I mean, what do you do with a captured army that massive? Liu Xiu made a really bold decision. He offered to just absorb them into his own forces, and even let their generals keep their titles. But the surrendered generals? They were deeply suspicious. They were sure it was a trap, that Liu Xiu was just biding his time before executing them all. You can just imagine the atmosphere, right? It was just thick with fear and mistrust. And an army that doesn't trust its commander isn't just useless, it's dangerous. So Liu Xiu knew he had to do something pretty radical to prove his intentions were for real. So instead of sending messengers or making promises from afar, Liu Xiu did something truly extraordinary. He rode out with just a handful of attendants, and he visited the camps of his former enemies. No guards, no armor. He made himself completely vulnerable, literally placing his life right in their hands. This incredible act of faith just absolutely stunned the suspicious generals. They were so moved, one of them is recorded to have said, "King Shao pushes his very heart and places it inside of us. How could we not give our lives for him?" And right there, in that moment, they saw his sincerity, and our idiom was born. That one gesture of complete trust, it just shattered all of their fear. It won him their absolute, unwavering loyalty. And with his forces now massively strengthened, Liu Xiu went on to unify the country and establish the Eastern Han Dynasty, becoming the celebrated Emperor Guangwu. So you see, this story isn't just about a clever military tactic. It's a really profound lesson on human connection, and it's just as relevant today as it was 2,000 years ago. So what can we really take away from all this? I mean, how does a story about an ancient emperor apply to our lives, to our jobs, to our relationships right now? Well, the wisdom of Tui Xin Zhi Fu is totally universal. It teaches us that real trust isn't something you demand, it's something you earn through vulnerability. It shows us that a sincere action can be so much more powerful than 1,000 words. It's a great reminder that genuine leadership inspires true loyalty, not just obedience. And maybe most importantly, that a moment of sincere connection has the power to turn enemies into allies. So today, you might use this idiom to describe a real breakthrough moment. For instance, you could say something like, "My manager and I had a Tui Xin Zhi Fu conversation, and now we finally understand each other's perspectives." It signals way more than just an honest chat. It implies a deep, vulnerable, trust-building exchange. Learn Chinese one story at a time.